All right, let's talk about that one relationship. You know the one. The one that keeps you up late at night. The one you know isn't good for you. And no, I'm not talking about your ex. I'm talking about your phone. Today, we're going to build a science-backed plan to finally break up with it at bedtime and get some actual sleep.
So, picture this. It's late, you're in bed, you know you should be sleeping, but you're trapped. You're in that endless scroll. Just one more video, just one more post. Sound familiar? Yeah, you're definitely not alone. But what if I told you a tiny, tiny change could make a massive difference? Okay, look at this number, 37.9. What do you think that is? The number of minutes of sleep you lost last night? The time you wasted on one app? Well, it's actually something way more hopeful than that.
That is the average amount of screen time saved per day, almost 38 minutes. And this comes from a 2020 study, all from changing one simple setting on their phone. Now, we're going to get to what that little trick is, I promise. But first, we really need to understand the powerful forces that are keeping you glued to that screen to begin with.
And right off the bat, here's the most important thing I want you to hear today. If you struggle with this, it is not your fault. It's not a lack of willpower. It's not some personal failure. It all comes down to biology and brain chemistry, starting with something called your body's internal clock.
So your body runs on this thing called a circadian rhythm. It's basically your internal 24-hour master clock. And for, thousands and thousands of years, it worked perfectly. It was synced up with the sun. Light came up, cool, time to be alert. Sun goes down, okay, time to produce melatonin and get sleepy. Simple, right? But then...
And this is where the problem really kicks in. Look, the blue light from the actual sun during the day, that's great, it's what we need. It boosts alertness, it sets our clock. But the blue light from our screens at night, woof. It's a total hijacker. It just slams on the brakes for melatonin production and basically screams at your brain, hey, it's noon, time to be awake.
And it's not just the light, which is wild. Check out this quote from Thriva. The content itself is literally engineered to be addictive. This is not an accident, people. It's 100% by design. Think of your apps like junk food for your brain. You get that quick, satisfying hit, and you just instantly want another one.
And this whole thing is powered by a little brain chemical called dopamine. Every time you get a notification, see a funny video, get a like, ding, you get a tiny little hit of dopamine. It's a reward. And the apps, they serve up a never-ending river of these rewards, creating this powerful loop that makes it almost impossible to just put the phone down.
So, how do we fight back? How do we take on these hijacked clocks and these crazy dopamine loops? Well, willpower alone isn't going to cut it. We need a strategy. We need a plan. And the best weapon we have is something called a wind-down routine. Think of it like a buffer zone between your crazy, hectic day and a truly restful night.
On a biological level, the goal here is really simple. We need to lower your cortisol. Cortisol is the stress hormone. It's awesome when you have a deadline, but it is an absolute nightmare for sleep. So a wind-down routine basically sends a signal to your body, hey, the battle is over for today, you can stand down. And that lets your cortisol levels drop so you can finally relax.
So what does a good wind-down actually look like in practice? Well, let's look at some real data. The company Oura, the Ring, tracked its members and found that doing one simple thing, swapping a screen for an actual physical book, had some jaw-dropping effects on their sleep.
First off, they just flat out got more sleep. We're talking an average of 23 extra minutes every single night. Now that might not sound like a ton, but do the math. That's almost 3 extra hours of sleep a week, just from reading a book.
But it gets even better. It's not just about how much sleep, it's about the quality. They saw a 22% increase in deep sleep. And that's the good stuff. That's the stage of sleep where your body is literally repairing itself, cleaning out junk from your brain. So this isn't just more sleep, it's better, more powerful sleep.
And check this out, a 10% jump in something called heart rate variability, or HRV. Okay, quick explanation. A high HRV is a sign that your body is relaxed, recovered, and resilient. It means your nervous system is chilled out and ready for action tomorrow. It's a huge indicator of good recovery.
Okay, so the proof is right there. This stuff works. But how do we actually do it? Let's build your toolkit. And yeah, reading is an amazing tool, but it's not the only tool. We're going to put together a whole routine using some simple but seriously powerful life hacks.
Okay, remember that 38 minutes I mentioned at the very beginning? Here it is. This is the big secret. Switch your phone to grayscale. Think about it.
All those bright, flashy colors are designed to grab you and hold your attention. The research shows that when you suck all that color out, your phone becomes way less exciting. Frankly, it gets kind of boring. And at bedtime, that's exactly what we want.
So let's wrap this up into a super simple 3-step routine. Let's call it the digital sunset. Step 1. Set an alarm for an hour or two before you want to be asleep. That's your starting pistol. Step 2. When the alarm goes off, switch your screen to grayscale. And step 3, and this one is the game changer, I'm serious, plug your phone into charge all the way across the room. Make it physically hard to reach.
So now you've got this new phone-free hour. What do you do with it? Well, you've got options. And these are all science-backed. You could sip on some herbal tea, maybe do some light stretching to release all that tension from the day. You could listen to a relaxing audiobook or some chill music, or you could even try a guided meditation. The point is, you find what feels good to you.
Okay, final piece of the puzzle. And this is maybe the most important part, because knowing what to do is one thing, but actually doing it every single night, that's the real challenge. So how do you make these new habits stick, even when you're tired or busy? Well, there's a brilliant little psychological trick for this. It's called habit stacking. The formula, which was made famous by the author James Clear, couldn't be simpler. It's just, after my current habit, I will do my new habit. That's it.
And the reason this is so genius is that you're not trying to build a new habit out of thin air. You're not relying on motivation. You're piggybacking the new habit you want to do onto an old habit you already do automatically. You're basically hijacking the momentum you already have.
So what does this actually look like? Well, instead of a vague goal like, I should meditate more, it becomes, while my tea is steeping, I will do a 5-minute meditation. See? Or instead of, I want to read more, it's, after I plug my phone in across the room, I will read 1 chapter of my book. It becomes a clear, automatic sequence.
So look, breaking up with your phone at night doesn't have to be this big, dramatic, painful thing. It's really just about creating a healthier routine, using these tiny, consistent, science-backed steps. So I guess the only question left is, what's the first new habit you're going to stack tonight?